Welcome back to ESL Pro League. Game 2 is about to begin. Just before we get started, though, if you guys want any of these cool jerseys that you see the players wearing, any of those cool Renegades logos on your own chest, sporting about all the events coming up, go to shop.eslgaming.com. You can buy any of the apparel for some of your favorite teams, favorite organizations, and represent them around the world. It'll be cool stuff. I'm here at the Xfinity Analyst Desk still. Hasn't moved, neither of you guys.
I wanted the Bears jersey. Just right out there.
Those are long gone.
Jason, we could bring it back. We could bring it back, right? The Legends series, the Bears. You
still have a couple of your jerseys, I'm sure.
I do.
Or in a closet.
Yeah, it's you know, I have a lot of things in my closet, but I got some of them are jerseys. Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Yeah. All right. Anyways, so continue. Cash.
Yeah,
Cash.
Take it away.
So Cash. Last time they met was during the FNX era at the tail end when Immortals probably were feeling pretty mortal, and they lost 16-4 to Renegades. So I don't know how much I would look into that because it's been a while, you know.
Yeah.
The emo phase.
And those, I mean, those big stomps as well seem to not be, you know, the best indication of how teams end up playing on those maps. Usually it'll be closer to the center. You liking this Renegades team after map 1 after that Cobble performance?
Yeah, very surprising. I didn't think that they come. I mean, I had an idea that they might be a little aggressive, but they just kept on going, never stopped. And I think in and out, they were in. Well, actually, they kept going in and kept going in and in and in and just kept repeatedly hitting it. So I'm thinking on Cash that as a CT side, they will be able to utilize this and be even more aggressive, getting map control, pushing B, pushing A main, just trying to go in.
Yeah, no, I think that's the name of the game. I like to call Cash Dust 3, right? Because it's just so meta heavy. Everyone knows basically every smoke. They know every play. Like, it's really hard to see new stuff on Cash. It's just whether or not you hit your shots and you play it correctly, right?
I guess it comes down to also how teams choose to play mid on both sides of the map. I mean, that's always a point of contention, but like, do you actually want to commit to defending mid, or do you want to play retake, or do you want to give it up, or, you know, however you want to choose to do it?
Yeah, I mean, holding mid, I would say like after the 1 minute or 50-second mark is kind of pointless, right? Because the T's, if they really want to commit to using the utility and taking it correctly, are probably going to get smashed. But it's basically like you kind of have to have a plan. It's like, give up mid, do you take A main? Like, what are you going to do? If you're the Z player, are you going to save a flash to flash through heaven on B for the guy to re-peek?
Yeah.
It's like everyone kind of has to know, like, almost from like a branching, like, what are we going to do if this happens? Because it's not like we're going to hold them out every single time.
Yeah, well, we're going to bring up the odds really quick. I'm getting where the players are pretty much ready to go, so this is going to go quick. Immortals still favorites despite that loss. Still pretty heavy favorites despite that loss in map 1. How's that make you feel, Eric? Makes
me feel a little confused inside.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes you have to get right through it and
get right.
Get right.
Yep.
Get right.
See you.
He's had some legendary Cash matches.
Mm-hmm. He has. He's a good player.
I saw that one highlight with the Linkin Park song and the 2 CZ kills.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
That was good stuff. Are we feeling along those lines with these? Is Immortals still favorites despite that loss? Do we still consider them to be the better team overall?
I think so. I think towards the end of that Cobble match, they kind of gotten more of a feel for how Renegades would play, and I think they're going to make a better adjustment.
Yeah, well, we're going to make an adjustment as well. We're going to bring in the casters. It's Laundry over there on the desk. Still sticking around. How you boys doing? Are ready for map 2? Another overtime in store?
Still sticking around, unlike some people.
Yeah. Well, you know, places to go, people to see.
Busy man.
Business to take care of.
Must be nice being important, Launders.
Yeah, wonder what that's like.
Take it away from map 2.
Thanks, gentlemen. So, Cash is up next. I'm expecting a bloodbath. I feel like these are two teams that are very capable of getting into those nitty-gritty, explosive-type moments where you're just going, you know, pure aim, pure gunfight. And that's what I'd love to see. I think that, again, Cash can play into that. Sure enough, both of these teams will be able to rely back on more execution and tactics if need be. But I like the fact that we can get loose here on Cash.
Yes, we can definitely get loose on Cash. In fact, so loose that it's very common on T-side to just do the obligatory hold for 20 to 30 seconds just because people push all the time. Instead here, got a standard hold on A, standard A take in the books. Smoke goes out, flash pop front of quad, and everyone to run out.
Terrace goes charging forward. KNG still back to quad. He's going to tap one head, but Azza swings it back. Bolts removed, and all of a sudden it's down to Henny. 1 versus 4. He's got a lot to get done. First of all, he needs to find Nifty out of the cubby, but now he retreats towards Truck. All 4 Ts on the bomb site. This is going to be a really tough retake. He doesn't have a kit currently on him. Does have a decoy.
Spoiler. He loses. Is deciding to take this half armor, run away. We had what we saw. What we just witnessed was a bread and butter A site take with smoke in between red and fork, and a flash for both A main to help anybody, to blind anybody at forklift or in the immediate area that might have thought about pushing or is on a close angle of some sort, and then one more flash for the site on default that lands, that blinds anybody that peeks quad or anybody sitting in that corner. And that's it's just like an A take that you would do in a pug, except a little bit more clean with better timing. But anything can kind of work on a pistol. It's a very low resource round. It's less about strategy, it's more about headshots. Sometimes fakes work out, but at the cost of very valuable resources, so you don't see too much of that.
Speaking of resources, Renegades certainly having more than their counterparts in this one. However, we saw some dirty deeds last night towards that A site. We'll see if the Immortals can do something themselves. KNG posted up with that one deagle. Henny and Bolts, the owners of the other two. Talked about mid-control with the T side. Well, that's exactly what they wanted here. And they got it.
Certainly did. Re-aggression down highway, I like this. Ustillo is camping out. Thinks that they're afraid of him, but they're not. They have done quite a bit of damage to him as well. KNG, worse for wear, certainly, but still alive with a deagle, a gun that you set yourself up in positions to get headshots with.
With mid-control being in the pockets of Renegades, we see Immortals move Bolts over to B. Henny, well, he'd love to find an opening pick. Both teams hoping to get that 5v4, but the time is playing against Renegades here. We have hit that 30-second mark, and the bomb still lingers in mid, where Henny shall hunt. Man to the top side, now very close to death, and he hits JKS, a man who still had full HP. Steel to be tested.
What are they doing?
They're waiting, and it could cost them. The spray connects. Renegades swing it with 2, and that leaves Azza just bolting towards the A site. He's got an open avenue, but he's going to have 2 opponents nipping at his heels.
Barely any time, oh my gosh.
And he makes it. Oh, he's got that AK, but so does Lucas. Both he and Steel on full Kevlar with a flash apiece and primaries to boot. Bomb plant indicates more of a mid play. Or he could be tucked on the left side of A main, which Steel's going to have to maybe clear. Azza hoping to skewer a man off forklift.
They are going to run out of time soon. They actually just have to find him quickly. And, oh, Lucas almost doesn't clear it. Close call. Going to have this defuse, yeah.
Yeah, plan was clearly there to catch a man looking towards A main, where he almost was. But because he has little health, it only took the single shot to the flick. And there we have it. Immortals win the 4 spot.
Why are people so obsessed with mid-control and anti-ecos? They took so long to split. They got the exact same thing done that they would have if they decided to go 3-2 B. No one had pushed B. There was 2 on site just waiting. The only damage dealt was from a player that aggressed 3 times up highway that they never dealt with, and his teammate who got some shots off with a deagle. If they had just ran to vent or like fought highway for 1 second or flashed it, cleared it, and then ran to vent, they would have been able to get in with 5 and maybe have killed the person instead.
Lucas going to try to survive this push, but Nifty's able to best him, and Steel's going to miss a couple headshots, swapping to the sidearm as he's completely overwhelmed. Henny able to find one from the heavens above, but it's the bomb plant in the pocket of Renegades. So certainly still getting something done in this one. KNG quickly coming through those vents, but the AK of Jay-Z will not be enough as Immortals convert the point.
Well done in the recovery. Obviously, it got pretty close with Renegades just hitting him with a straight B rush. Sometimes that works out, especially if a player has decided to op. Once you come around that corner and there's somebody with an op, it is such a tight timing for them to get back to headshot, which would be considered safety, that sometimes a pistol can shoot them in the back while they're running away. Especially if you just run right up that wall, jump as soon as you make contact. Even get someone killed, it's totally worth it. In that situation, a little bit different. Same result, however, Renegades hit in the site and plant the bomb.
It's what allows for them to get back into this buy. Sniper for Nifty's the only one currently on that server. Immortals looking to take an initiative by boosting a man over, and it's at the same time as Nifty goes high, but he's got the up close, and now it's to the dirt. Bomb as well, sitting on the ground as KNG will linger, firing towards the head of Ustillo. He is killed back. Meanwhile, Immortals win everywhere else, and that takes Renegades down to only 2, one of which incredibly lit.
I have no idea who actually wins that fight more often on boost. Which side of the fight is overpowered? Sometimes people will sit up there on CT side after taking control, wait for someone to come over, and then just get completely destroyed. And I can't tell if it's because some players' reactions are faster or because they found a better angle. But this round's almost over. JKS tries to make a play. The rotate comes out. The only man at A is a one on highway, which means Ustillo might actually clear it, but Bolts is holding this pretty tight.
Yeah, and it's going to take a single round. Easily cleared is Ustillo. Renegades going to forfeit another round, but this duel right here really kicked things off. KNG near finding Ustillo as well. That would have sealed it much faster, but it was while he got his kill that everybody else chimed in. So, Immortals to the 3-1 start, and Renegades going to have to take this one on the chin, but they're going to do so at least with some pistols and armor to play with.
Steal it back and steal it back hard, and obviously this half buy because they have a little bit too much money to justify saving completely, but too much to waste on a full buy. And that's something we'll see next round. Smoke comes hurling over the wall in front of Bolts, and they know that it's most likely going to be an A hit.
Lucas tries to spam that door as Bolts will spam the smoke. JKS the only T to find anything until Azza chimes in with a 2K. And he gets himself the M4. Almost reads into KNG, but the spam back goes to Immortals, and as does that 5th round.
Good cleanup. It came close. I like that read from Azza to go ahead and spam. I think people doubt themselves when it comes to timings and when it comes to knowing angles. And like, you know these, if you've played like a few thousand hours, which I don't know how many people have actually played a few thousand hours, but it's been, 5 years of CSGO. So there's probably a few people out there. When you go to peak mid or something like that, you could do it with your eyes closed. I don't think people realize that they can. And they're always really shocked when players are able to hit these smoke spams and lineups that that come from like these really aggressive operas. Like Henny is really good at being confident in himself. Whoa. Oh, Henny actually just pushed all the way through B with an off, got a kill. Did some damage with his teammate, helped him finish off that kill, but then gets killed as well, and that leaves B wide open. They know that after he pushed B, there was going to be no one else behind him.
Knowledge and confidence, as you were talking about, sets up this round. And Steel, he's going to clear out the corner as Bolts blows Nifty to smithereens. 2 Ts left over. Renegades at the disadvantage, but at least they've got their bomb. And they still have utility to play with, so both of these players can just couple themselves together. And instead, they decide to split, putting Azza onto the boost in order to keep mid honest. Of course, this will give him a lot of information and at least a good position to hold on to.
Mid is interesting light. It's an opportunity where you can boost over. You don't typically see people holding on to it. At most, you're going to see one. So it's nice for an individual to go up. And also, if someone doesn't watch anything or you catch a slick timing, you can make your way up highway, help your teammates split. In this circumstance, they're actually both here, which means they're going to have to walk through a crossfire into a site, and there is actually going to be a CT watching both things.
Gets his headshot. KNG traded back by JKS, but he's so damn lit. Steel able to hold the cross with ease. Renegades obviously playing against the clock there, so Immortals win another round. Looked like Renegades wanted to fight within middle, but they got boxed into that corner.
Yeah.
Bolts blew them out.
Yeah, it was a really cool re-aggression from Immortals. Renegades didn't expect it whatsoever. It seemed like they kind of had a hold position call. Not implying that they're bots or anything, but I think they were told to chill out for a second at mid while they had control of it, and their teammates didn't in time chime in with an idea of how to move the round forward.
Nice frag. Azza splits his HP. Henny looks to split his head as he'll eventually jump to the vent. Almost, but not close enough. Does hit it through the box, so that's 2 Ts tagged. Bolts now ready to go. Up close, the frag grenade goes out, but Ustillo takes the Tech 9 and Nifty with a Deeg. That's coming in from the A site. Quick split with the bomb in tow. Henny in the open, though, could be an issue. He gets burned off of it.
That molly.
Entire CT's set up.
The molly was so good. He even threw it over the box, and that it just stops all the rotates completely. Nifty making a heads-up play.
He created the window, and that Molotov is what held it open long enough for everybody to get by. Steel now ready to respond as the retake gets rolling. He is able to find the headshot, but the quad boost now dealt with. They know Ustillo's in there, and 2T's still low. Nifty, full HP, finds another frag, but Lucas wants to trade. He goes down, and that leaves only the sniper. Falling back is Henny. He realizes what's occurred, but he has to still worry about this man. Azza in mid, and the Tech 9 pans out. Renegades, with only pistols and a couple sets of Kevlar, manage to win the round.
So jumping out A main is kind of a risk, but what you can do sometimes, depending on the timing, is... Oh, wait, was this actually Nifty? Oh, he went squeaky.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this was in the post plan. So initially, he jumped out A main, jumped to the left, and went to forklift. And this is a part of the site that isn't always watched, even if your teammate or your team is watching the site properly, just because of there's not a lot of great places to stand on A. And jaywalking, has he gotten a hint that someone that's pushed? And just as he reloads, gets capitalized on. Steel falls back through the smoke. Up 5v4. He didn't have time to recover the gun. There was really no way for him to do that. Good spam and response from JKS. But now they just can kind of give up mid. And are actually still getting aggressive. And this might be because they have kind of a low buy to work against. 5v4 doesn't feel like enough.
Gonna boost him out on the backside of the B site. That's gonna try to clear out the barrels where someone just was. But was is the proper term as Renegades start to push more towards mid. Lucas is the only man as a CT here, and he's only got that deagle, so firing off the sidearm is not going to put him in a great spot to find an opening, realizes his danger, and so he retreats. Yet again, Renegades with some mid control, but we've seen them slow down too much in this position before.
Yeah, certainly have, and also, yeah, down a man even worse. Surprisingly, Immortals decided to push in this situation. I guess, again, not feeling comfortable. Steel's gonna get mollied out, and we'll have a target hit. Azza could just waited him out there. Decided to go for the fight.
Still is going to take the headshot and the man advantage, but Bolts will drop the bomb. 20 seconds to the clock, and he has to reload. So Renegades able to get onto the site. Bolts, he wants to force this fight, but Nifty takes him down, and JKS with the last puts another round for Renegades.
Damn, you wanted to say that that was actually a really good play. That flash was timed perfectly. It just didn't actually blind B main, so I'm not sure where it landed. Here's where the molly comes out, and Steel's just completely screwed. Azur has him here, so should have kind of forced him to try to move or just waited until he had more damage dealt to him. Could have saved his own life. Either way, Renegades win. Immortals have to completely save. And Nifty, just barely missing someone walking up left side of mid.
Almost finding it, though, is Steel. Azza responding back, but Bolts' P250 finds a headshot. Immortals have to be cautious. They're starting to just feed themselves into the T side. And there we have it. Simultaneous headshots for Renegades now closes that gap to only 1 point, but Immortals have a big buy.
Yes, it's going to be a full round for them. I don't think, Henny's not actually going to have an op. They've got 5 smokes, which is quite nice. They're... Unlike other sites, the choke points, again, are really, really wide, so making sure that you can re-smoke them or re-smoke them until the end of the round is extremely nice in almost every situation. Tees will still often push through it, look for cracks in it. Use smokes to advance, like even if this is smoked right here on B main, they can throw their own smoke and cross the checker. Wow, have gone for an aggressive A main push.
They really want this fight, but it costs them the opening life. That's Henny down, but Azza dropped back in response. And Renegades know better than to just go charging through. 4 versus 4 to the T side of Cash. They're better off here. They're going to go back into what they've done best, taking mid for them. JKS.
Oh, man. You can tell his teammates to come here. Oh, wow. Yeah, so he knows immediately, like, site's empty. No one's going to play a site that's been pushed already. This smoke is not good, but they're hitting it with the nades. So they know that he's there.
Yeah, the follow-up smoke ensures their safety. Enables the cross as the Molotov blocks things off, and the CTs are just stuck to the backside. So, they know better. Retreat has been called. The white flag waved. That's Renegades to tie things up at 5 points apiece.
Lucas made a big mistake not clearing out Sunroom properly. And off of that push, I mean, didn't have a teammate to do it, was kind of solo, and was probably very happy to tell his team, I have Sunroom control, you guys can all go and stack A site, basically.
He almost killed Bolts.
Huh.
That would have been sick. Bolts with a really weird off angle in that position. Normally when you see people save, it's always just hiding behind the van, but
yeah.
He uses another piece of cover. 3v3 as this round comes to a close, and Renegades tie things up at 5 apiece. So everybody just getting things back underneath them. Here's that patient play by JKS. Could have called for the team to rotate, as you were alluding to, but because they're already so close to vent, he executes him, and like you said, just enforces the fact that no one else is in sight.
Yeah, that's right. They did have mid control. That's true. It seemed like an awkward amount of money for Immortals, but they managed to squeeze 5 rifles out. JKS going to be just throwing a B main control smoke to bait utility, a flash to let him know that he's there, and that they should clear Sunroom next time. Here, KNG is going to be boosting, and this is a very powerful position, good for watching mid, good for catching people coming out of A main, great multi-kill spot. It's even good sometimes if they know you're up here, but it shouldn't be used every round. And it seems like Renegades are actually going to go towards A. You still are making noise in A main. Huh. Whoops.
KNG with a bit of an off angle too. There's that other option where you stand on the light fixture just above the squeaky door.
Yeah, well, you just kind of move there, right?
Yeah, could have, but he falls down and flicks onto Azza. The 180 clearing out the squeaky door and sectioning off Renegades, as now they've got to all come in from A main. They leave a man on mid, but Ustilo, unable to find a frag, leaves only JKS. As Henny finds another, it is just down to him.
Wow.
And there we go.
Absolutely criminal that he's able to get 3 kills. Even gets another one after that. Azur just had to get 1 bullet in. And here it is, off here, and he actually fell off wrong too. Could have fell on the light fixture. Looked straight down, been completely safe from main. Kill anybody walking out of Squeaky with the information hasn't been corresponded to him properly. And yeah, still is able to get those kills. Unreal.
Dirty. Very well done. This time it's going to be Immortals to smoke off B main, so Nifty wary of a counter boost. But instead that boost puts a man inside a vent.
Seems like they've caught wind of this. And just as the smoke dissipates, you see they time their Molotov. Just to be fully optimal about being able to abuse it. Azza actually hasn't made too much noise in Squeaky. In fact, is falling off. And Henny is able to find a kill at mid.
The Brazilians find their 5v4. Molotov at the feet of Steel loses 40 health before extinguishing the flames, but
Yeah, he messed up. I think he switched before he threw it.
he then decides to put himself deeper into the corner here, trying to help out on mid as JKS looks to entry in. Lucas is all alone, and now he's gone. So Steel drops in from above, sprays to the head of Azza, only to be traded back as Immortals maintain the man advantage. But the opening towards the site is there. Jay-Z is going to get the bomb in. Nifty retreats towards under vent. He's playing that op as the after plant, but unfortunately for him, KNG is wrapping around through B main. The rest of the Immortals just lying in wait for him to get position. Nifty misses, and now they get pushing forward. Jay-Z 1v3 tries to hold off on Heaven. He's taking damage already as he sprays wildly. It's Immortals to take it 7-5.
Nice retake. Lucas gets destroyed too. That was big for Renegades. I thought that once that happened, maybe they pull this out, but good recovery from Immortals. Good retake. Very not so stalwart defense, but nice recovery. Four rounds in a row for Renegades, and then 2-1 for Immortals, meaning that now Renegades are in a position where they have one last full buy, lots of utility, and then they're going to have to save.
Going yet again for that boost on mid. Stillo nipping at the heels of the man on sandbags, but instead it's Lucas to stop it then and there. Henny with an op finds one, but Jay-Z swinging it back to a 3v3. Bolts spotting the Molotov, throwing the frag, then decides to fall off. He was the only man at A, so safely putting himself to the white truck and leaving middle for Renegades.
Holding for pushes. We saw that Immortals in previous rounds have gotten aggressive in this situation, almost recklessly. JKS trying to catch someone pushing up mid, maybe a duo, and they've all got pretty cool off angles. We won't see any aggression just yet. Oh, well, they actually walk out here. Seems like Renegades outpatience Immortals time and time again. Yeah, Bolts is going to run right into this. JKS any second from turning around, however. There it is, headshot. The patience pays off. Another one? No, wow. Kanji ops, re-peeks and kills him. JKS, a little bit irresponsible right there.
That bomb is going to start to rotate back towards A. Looked as though they had an inkling towards the B site. Now it's KNG who might get caught in the open. He is going to push up, seeing the utility inbound. Looking to hold this line. Full flash. Great nade. And that takes it down to Steel. 3K for Jay-Z already. And a 2v1 for Renegades as Steel will round this corner. He has yet to be spotted, but he's going to have to keep pushing up. First duel versus Jay-Z. Not able to win it. There's the fourth frag for him. And another round for Renegades as they still have a chance to even this out or even take that lead.
Two great opening kills at mid. Here we have him clearing out as well as trading in the trade frag on Henny and then getting a nice flash off on default. Only reason they were able to take A and not put his teammate in danger of 1v1. KNG almost certainly would have hit that shot. So heads up performance in that round. To make it 6, Renegades still playing from behind. Immortals, no kits on this round, completely busted by Deagle, CZ. Half armor on everybody. Bolts has actually found an opportunity to cross. I don't know if Ustillo knows this. Pose an interesting problem.
Bolts being one of 3 rifles in this round for Immortals. KNG also has that op. It's going to be Steel and Lucas, the weaker links. That's one of which in mid. Steel over towards the vents.
Yeah, it really doesn't feel like... I think in his mind he's done a great job of making sure no one's coming in A main. Bolts being very, very patient. Now I've decided to aggress on mid. Immortals are actually pretty well prepared for a late mid hit.
Yeah, as they should be, seeing as Renegades have used this time and time again.
Yeah.
Seems to be their go-to late play.
Right.
We'll see if it pans out despite the stack. The stack of which actually has disappeared. Henny sits towards white box, but just moments earlier, KNG had left. Jay-Z, thorough in his clearing of the corner, is able to find Bolts. So A main taken back by Renegades, but KNG holds truck. And Nifty, well, he just awaits the peak. Man goes wide, that's Lucas down. And Nifty's gonna play responsibly, just holding this angle until he spots the legs, and that's the bait for KNG. Now a 3v3. As JKS holds off on lift, it's Azzo with a frag, great flash, and an excellent spray, leaving only Steel to remain, and he's out of town. He's left, giving Renegades 7 a tied point to the board, and 1 left to play after.
Wow. So, even as you mentioned, Immortals getting very used to having to deal with a late mid. and Renegades set up for it, got one person out. That guy actually ended up getting killed, so even with the rotation, it didn't matter too much. But and Henny the one to kill him as well. Now the only thing that Renegades did well, I think, to take it and make sure that there was no one that could stop him, was have that Molly and vent to push Immortals into B, making that rotate much longer as well, and potentially making the retake even more of a stretch. Once they got over there, they realized the guns weren't good enough. Lost majority of their duels, and now Immortals have to buy, but don't have much to buy.
All right. Getting cheeky. Saw the boost over towards the Shroud on A site. This time they're going to boost towards missiles on B.
I like these kind of spots. They're like tripwire spots. You put someone up there, they get the kill, they fall off, and they have brand new cover. And right here, they're obviously right on top of each other. So if someone swings out, they're perfectly aligned, meaning that no one dies first. There's no peak tight enough that could catch just one of them off guard.
It's a bit of a gamble whereby if anybody goes through checkers, something that they have no eyes on and are unable to stop, then they're just both fully exposed. They're pinned in the corner, they're dead. But anybody who comes charging out from the main B door, well, they're going to have two targets on top of one another to deal with. I like it. I dig it.
It's always funny how this quad smoke gets used by Ts and by CTs, depending on the situation.
Values for each side.
Yeah. If there's an op, you want to smoke them out. If the CTs don't have an op, sometimes you want to let them get close.
Of course, they have no op this time. They have no primary guns. It's just pistoleros aplenty. Renegades really playing the clock here. They're down to 20 seconds. They're going to have to make this work. 3 defenders on the site, 2 now dead already. KNG burned to a crisp. And that leaves Renegades with a surefire run towards that 1-point lead.
They could have just used that anti-eco and not gotten eco'd in this half already. Going for their late mid control, getting full eco'd because of it. All they had to do is go to A and molly everything out. There's really no reason to do it. It's extremely hard to stop. We just saw so many people playing there, and everybody wants Jaywalkers to pull the trigger in that situation.
You will take one, you still have the next, and there we have it. Renegades with a 1-point lead at the end of the opening half. The very same score we saw on the first half of Cobble, but this time it's Renegades who have that slight edge. Will it be enough to close out the game? Only time can tell. So stay tuned here at the ESL Pro League. We'll be back after a short word from our sponsors.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, the City of Odense, GeForce GTX, Lenovo Legion, Bedway, Pay Safeguard, Logitech G, Mountain Dew League, Xfinity, and ESEA.
Welcome back to the ESL Pro League, where we are halfway through Renegades versus Immortals. Not only in terms of maps, but obviously halves as well here on Cash. Wanders, we saw some pretty explosive moments on that one. What sticks out to you in these opening 15 rounds?
It could have been more tight. I mean, it couldn't have been more tight, I should say. There was the pistol, 2 rounds following, a 4-round streak, a 3-round streak, and then it started to become more of a mix-up where we saw Immortals just kind of get things together near the end of the half, but at the same time, Renegades were doing some good stuff. Or I should have said the opposite, actually. Renegades finally had figured out their anti-eco, which is a very standard one that everybody knows about because A, in that choke point is so wide open. Throw the Molotov on quad, throw the Molotov off of quad to hit fence, throw a Molotov at forklift, and there's no surprise spots. No pistols can either get back to those spots without crossing in front of you or stand in those spots to begin with. And so that's just the easiest way to take A. And I wish they just would have just done that every single time. But they'd only sacrificed, I think, a single eco. It just happened to be a full eco, which is why it sticks out in my mind. Yeah, we move on to brand new territory, very balanced map. Good opportunities for both Renegades and Immortals to close this out.
They've got 2 players to the backside of quad here for the defense. A defense that's ready to receive a flood of terrorism. First one's dropped, that's Steel. Azza able to double down for 3 and 4. A single mag, 4 headshots, a beauty of a pistol.
Wow. And it's, yeah, well done. That was super clean. The crowd goes wild.
Azza, yeah.
Azza. It's a great name to chant, I feel like.
That's very true. Last bullet.
If he had more, his crosser was on him. If he had just one more.
Yeah.
And that's why you use the P2K.
Fact.
They did the squeaky group up. The appeal of the squeaky group up is that you get really close to quad, fence, default, bomb plant zone. You get eyes on highway, eyes on forklift right away as soon as you open that door, and you can walk the entire distance. And it's difficult if you don't have a proper flash to assist you, and obviously if you have someone as good as Azza to cover you.
Talking about flashbangs and assistance. Nice little setup there from the Renegades. Able to pry into A main and claim their prize. A 5v4 as KNG is quelled. Now Bolts is trying to suppress the man on box, allowing for Steel to just creep his way in. As he rounds the corner, he takes the headshot and taps away for another. Azza removed as Ustillo comes into play, coming out from NBK, and suddenly leaving Bolts all alone. He's got Henny to the backside, but for now, mid is just his. He allows the CT to cross back, unable to capitalize, popping out the vents and pulling the rotation there. They're actually going to go A.
They definitely made it seem like it was fast. Ustillo almost showing his back to... Whoa. Oh, actually does give him the opportunity there to get the frag. And... Oh, actually JKS assists with that grenade.
This was nice.
Yeah, this was really good. Really does feel like the James Bond pistol. I mean, even above the USP.
Really? Why is that?
No, I just... Something about the way that you aim it and the way that you run across, and maybe it's how the recoil looks. I just feel really cool when I use the CZ.
You should always feel cool.
Thank you. That made me feel nerdy because that actually made me feel good.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you just reminded me I'm just a nerd.
Bolts is able to find Nifty immediately and a UMP for his efforts. Lucas is going to take that as he also has his bomb. Azza, well, he's behind enemy lines.
I love this little kid's gun.
It's like a garden hose.
You just terrorize kids.
USP in hand, finds another one. Immortals utilizing their retrieved weaponry to take 1 kill off of it. Now he needs 3 more. A daunting task, seeing as he doesn't have the bomb, doesn't have Kevlar, or any utility to block off line of sight. He's got a flashbang. And ambition.
Almost forgot the big thing, ambition.
But what he doesn't have is a solution to this.
Yeah, that's tough. Good off angle from JZ. And there's some good damage done with the UMP. Or with the MP9, and a lot of money earned as well.
Quick couple of taps. Coupled with the MP9, makes him some Cash. Renegades with the AWP already. Full rifles, although limited. FAMI.
I don't like that.
No?
I'm not a big fan. You just made it up, right? Okay. Just want to make sure it's not the real way you say that. Oh, here it is, the boost again. Let's see, if KNG wins this. Yeah, see? Who has the advantage? No one knows. I mean, technically, JKS did hit the head first, but maybe that just means the terrorists had the advantage.
Of course, they would have known that Justillo was there at some point. And as the smoke begins to fade, he will retreat to the safety of the mortar pile. A lot of damage here, though, for Immortals, so all it's going to take is a constant spray down from Renegades to maybe take 2 kills back. KNG, one of which sits behind a spammable surface, so he's got to be careful. Of course, he can just sit here while the rest of his team groups up towards the A site, priming their execution.
Everyone walking A main. If they dry peek him, he'll kill you. Smoke goes out. Any assisting flash? Oh, they just do the jump bait. Nifty, victim of it. Very low HP as well.
Yeah, nade blasts him out as a traded back and forth, leaves Renegades worse off. 2v4. But barely that, seeing as KNG and Lucas are so heavily lit. Bolts with a one-tap. Makes it look so easy.
Yeah, yeah. Beast, and they're keeping it really simple. I mean, they just decided to, they knocked JKS off boost with KNG, dinked for it. They traded out, got a nice jump peek bait on Nifty after doing some damage to him. Really simple stuff, and I really hate that CS that we saw from like Luminosity, where they just spent so many resources trying to get into A. It's like people will let you in. Getting into A is not the hard part. It's keeping it. It's getting these kills in the after plant. That's the difficult part. That's why people feel like they can retake it. If you agree with that statement, you shouldn't feel like, oh, the difficult part and the part we have to spend all our resources on is trying to molly out everything in the site. In fact, sometimes that just allows too many rotations in. You want to get those kills first. So really good, I think, to play a default loose base style on Cash, especially if you're thinking about taking A. Be a little bit more friendly to full executes.
Immortals with a chance now. Lose just the pistols. KNG already just asserting himself. I mean, that's such easy mid-control for Immortals. When Renegades aren't throwing any grenades, when they don't block off the door with smoke, showing no presence, Immortals see that opening, and they just grab onto it.
Yeah. It's become tough. You rarely see teams play 1-3-1 on mid. Instead, they try to do counter boost. Because even if you have 2 people running up mid, or well, 2 people running up mid, 1 going to vent, it's a situation where 2 people maybe come over boost, and they both have that high-low advantage. So that's still not even a really great fight. And then as your third player at Z or White Box says he can't help you with boost, and the other one might get smoked out.
Very easily dealing with the minimal threat of Renegades. As Immortals take this 4v1, they take the A-bomb site, they'll find their plant, and eventually they'll find JZ Walkings. Kills him with his own pistol.
Pistol of his own. That is now his. Returns the bullet, though. What a guy.
Yeah. How nice of him.
Top lad.
Now we have it. The buy from Renegades. AWP for Nifty, M4s on the rest of their core, and that's mirrored on Immortals. Bolts tries to get ahead of the smoke, a little bit of spam, but nothing for it, as Renegades are able to position JKS inside the vents and use Justillo to the Shroud boost. They do it the safe way as well. We didn't just see that, but you can boost a man on top of, I think it's the light fixture, then he comes up on the other side, so you don't have to go from A main.
Yeah.
Nice.
Safe is always good. Damage has been traded early on. Immortals really look like they're going to impose their will on Renegades in this half. It's gonna be up to Renegades to stop that, but they're not nearly as frisky on CT side as Immortals were. Immortals were pushing even when it was obvious, just all the time. I say that, but they were getting away with it too. And it was working out for them, at least kind of well.
Still's got to be careful not to make noise here.
Yeah. As long as he keeps jumping from low to high, he'll be okay. But
you know your movement, Lunders.
definitely.
Steel's going to creep in, though. This could counter the position of Ustillo. He will be in the open. And down he goes. Immortal to the 5v3. Bomb on the doorstep of the A site. Nobody for Renegades is home.
I think the problem for him was he actually threw that smoke down. And you can hear people throwing the smoke down. So our man in Squeaky probably just called that noise came from above. Which is stupid, and they should change it. And I hate it. I'm gonna watch the demo.
Of this one?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm gonna find out.
Gonna do that tonight?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'm also gonna say, where's my Half-Life 3?
You're still angry about that. You've been talking about that all day.
I'm pissed.
So is Bolts. He's the only man to die thus far. But in revenge, Immortals trade his kill with 2 of their own and get themselves to double digits. There we go.
How are you not more pissed?
I actually have never played Half-Life. I'm pretty sure I just heard Sapphire in the background.
This isn't gonna work out.
Sigh because of that. I'm sorry.
I can just beat Laundry.
Yeah.
People call me Laundry anyway.
Yeah, it's true. That's see when we trademarked it, I was thinking that to myself. Like, I've added nothing to this. You were already Laundry.
It didn't have to get a prenup. That name I knew was gonna work out for me in the end. Never played Half-Life.
Nope. I only started playing PC games in 2013 when Battlefield 4 came out.
You play with your thumbs. Went outside.
Yeah.
What a nerd.
That's all right.
Worked in a prison.
I did work in a prison. Yeah, fun fact.
What a nerd.
I've never publicly talked about that, Wonders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Should I have not?
I'm indifferent.
Oh, okay.
But now there's just this aura of mystery because there's no context. The game has restarted.
Yeah. At one point, Scrawny was in prison.
Still was able to trade Steel, who does open up with the 5v4. Of course, they do have these rifles. And Azza's got the backside of Bolts. Now he swaps to the AK and almost trades back the kill to Henny, but he doubles down. KNG returns for 1. And while damage has been dealt, JKS is all that's left. Baits out the shot from the op, then is able to cross, but there's another man lying in wait. It's Lucas, who does close things out here, tying the game at 11 rounds apiece.
JKS is he's pretty good. His movement's pretty good. You know what's so great about Henny? He's gonna re-peek. So if he doesn't re-peek in this situation, kills actually get away from him. It was good that he did that. But JKS, he's like the, you know what he reminds me of?
What?
He's like the Skadoodle of Australia.
Yeah? Why do you say that?
He seems quiet.
All right. Okay.
He's good.
And he's
seems
quiet.
Yeah. It's good movement, too. Both of them have good movement. Very good movement. Butter.
Ooh.
Wow.
Good kill from Azza. Drops the offer of Immortals. The first one, that is, seeing as both teams come into this round with the double op setup. Intriguing.
What are Immortals going to do? Are they going to try to bully A? Oh, I love that they got this kill. It makes it interesting. I think that they've been having a lot of success here, and I'm kind of curious. 4v4, what do Renegades do now that they've traded out? Do they push? They don't necessarily have to. It looks like they have one man on mid. Is JKS hanging out top here? Yeah, so he's just going to straight up take this fight. It's a pretty good angle to fight people crossing, but can be hard to get to. KNG's going to come over, he's going to take a shot, but he might get shot in the foot. Oh, that's unlucky.
Nice. 2 headshots going the way of Immortals, but the Ops reign back with 2 frags of their own, and JZ almost gets another. It's nifty. 1v2. Knows a man's to his left, but has a feeling Bolts is near. And he is. Nifty peeking, out goes down. Bolts smashes his skull wide open and takes Immortals onto 12. So the Brazilians back in the lead now.
That was lightning fast. Yeah, oh, that's rough.
Great use of the cover.
It. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. That's a very good point. He did make it the perfect headshot angle and didn't get impatient and try to come up with that boost. He had low, very low HP, so the only way that he could die is if JKS shoots him in the head. Exactly. Credit where credit is due.
Now it's just the pistols of Renegades. Of course, it's been 5 unresponded rounds by the Immortals. This should not be the round that Renegades take back.
Oh, God.
Although Ustillo doing a good job of getting close, and Azza's able to trade. Nicely done as they take down the gun of Lucas. They're unable to retrieve it. However, Nifty comes in. Renegades again playing 1 player per side. JZ up close, flashes back towards B main, but Bolts will take him down. And that now opens up a door for the bomb to push in.
3 relatively full HP. Oh, Steel gets knocked down to half. We have a game. B main plants, 2 players around checker, vent control. JKS just trying to do some preliminary damage to assist in this retake. AKs, though, not that great without armor.
Aim is offset to the CZ of Henny. Azza wants to push through vent here. Bolts directly underneath goes down. The headshot connects as he jumps across. It's still this 2v2.
Oh, default molly.
It's going to burn out Steel. He's down to 21 health. Great play. Now Henny has to clutch 1 versus 2. The first one connects, and JKS has no kit, but he taps the bomb, and it costs him. Henny fixates in and takes Immortals to 13. They're really coming into their own on this T side.
Yes, it was a good recovery, and they actually lost their initial kills on that A main play, where both of them tried to pick up each other's slack, and both got pistoled. That was a good bait. He really didn't have to peek again, but at the same time, JKS was just going to leave the site because there was no time to defuse. So he puts one in the body, and they move on to
Bolts, though, he's just going to go charging through. Immortals keeping up this pace and finding a 5v4. JZ trades it, but as does KNG. Immortals boosting a man up quite quickly in order to do exactly that. But Ustillo wants a main, and Steel triggers in, takes the headshot and the 4v2, putting Immortals in a prime spot to secure 14. Nifty and Azza going to have to do something, and mid-fight looks to be the name of the game. Flashbang goes to the side. That does connect slightly, but Azza holds his own.
They should just take the bomb back. They have a teammate at A. Yeah, Steel's clearing it out. Just tell him to, you know, screw mid. We can leave him there. Nifty doesn't have many choices. Steel doesn't want to get too aggressive. I mean, he knows there's no A player. He knows there's 1 mid player, so he's going to expect the B guy to rotate. I don't even know if this angle works versus someone coming out of mid, does it?
For mid, I don't know. Definitely does for B, because Nifty is completely clueless at this point. He makes a lot of noise. That allows Steel to reveal himself, get the kill, and find Azza. Azza trying for the headshot, loses his instead. And that is Immortals to 14. This is now going to be 7 unanswered rounds. Renegades made the first half close, but it's been lost, that's for sure.
They've got a scary T side, man. They focus on that individual play, and it's the smart move. I like how they do it. Very careful tapping. Now, Renegades on another save. It's just been like, wow, from an 8-7.5 to feeling like Renegades stand absolutely no chance now. It's a tough call. I mean, you could say maybe they weren't aggressive enough on their CT side, but Immortals really didn't do that great of a job on their CT side. Pushed probably a little bit too much, got away with it when they shouldn't have.
JKS finds something for Renegades to be proud of. Then he gets a reward, AK in the hands of Azza, coupled with the Kevlar. Be able to mitigate the aim punch, but they can't mitigate the fact that Immortals have a massive advantage right now. And a B site for the taking.
Should be an easy plant, easy rounds, easy match points. Asa has half armor, and I don't think they have enough money to think about going for this.
Steel's really going to seal the deal with that one. Obviously, JKS was the only man near sight. Asa is still close enough to find some kind of a fight, but it's the T's to go the other way. They created their opening and they take it. Whoa. Use it as an exit.
Oh my god, what is he doing? Oh no. I was like, he's gonna die, right? Like.
Well then.
Okay. I mean, they have a buy. They technically are going to need to buy for the next few rounds, but they don't have one to lose anyways. So it's no sweat off their back. They're going to have full nades, everything they need. Just a little funny, I guess.
A little goofy.
A little goofy gaff.
Gaffster. That was the man on the AK. Now it's Nifty up close with the op, but he makes a noise, and it doesn't stop him from connecting onto Henny. Asa opening up with a headshot as Nifty finishes his frag, but Bolts has responded with 2. Ustillo executed on the inside of the smoke, and now Immortals just pushing into A. Bomb definitely on its way, but JKS on site. He's going to start to maybe feel this heat. Pushed into the open, finds the bomb, sprays for Bolts, but he's down. And now Bolts needs the ace clutch. First man crosses the quad. He sprays, connects it. Only one is left. That is JZ up close. Bolts to seal the deal. Oh, nails it. What a way to finish off map 2. The Immortals, after switching to the second half, give up pistol. They give up the conversion points, but then they fly flawlessly into victory lane.
8 rounds in a row. And even here, Renegades start out with the advantage. They get the 2 kills in A main, and he kills them both. What a way to end it. That was nice.
That was sick.
Not an ace clutch.
Well, I mean, an ace and a clutch. Ace and a clutch.
Ace and a clutch. Okay.
Oh, I'm exhilarated from that play. What an awesome way to finish it off. Obviously, Immortals, they're content with their win here. Let's go ahead and think about this one for a moment, Launders. Did you expect that?
Did I expect that?
The 2-0. Yes or no?
I didn't think too much about whether or not it was going to be 2-0. I did think Immortals were going to win cash, but maybe we should leave it to our analysts to dissect further.
All right.
Smooth, boys. Nicely done on the cast to get another cool game out of these two teams. Another one we have to feel like Renegades certainly had a great chance. But that was an 8-0 run in the second half.
Yeah,
to end it. I mean, Immortals wins every single gun round.
Yeah, I mean, you win both pistols.
Yep.
You kind of get outclassed at that point. You get 0 CT rounds outside of the first 3. I mean, cash can be really hard on CT side. And Immortals had that really defaulty play, right? There's not going to be any room to push. So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like the T side from Renegades was fine. You had exactly what you want for this team to win. The winning conditions were all there. Azar was having a really good game. JKS was having a really good game. Those two together usually amount to a win for this Australian team, but it seems like when they couldn't dictate the pace of where the action was coming to, they really struggled in that defense.
Yeah, one other thing on the CT side, they always gave up a lot of the first picks. I think maybe you should slow it down.
Individual plays.
Yeah, too many individual plays in the CT. Maybe slow it down a bit or peek more than one person at an angle. Maybe 2 to 3 people. Be a little more random. Get a little randy. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What about you, James? I mean, is that kind of the feeling you got as well on the CT side for Renegades?
Yeah, the teamwork wasn't there on the CT side. Anytime we saw A main aggression, it was solo, which is especially if you have a rifle, you want to be double swinging with maybe a third guy throwing a flash from truck. Yeah, I mean, that's how you usually see it going, right? You see 2 A4s, one of them swings wide, flash comes behind them as you're peeking them, right? So even if you do peek them, the flash is going to be landing behind them. So I think they might need to go back to the drawing board on the CT side, Keish.
Well, you guys can bring up the drawing board because you guys have some rounds you want to talk over, so let's just get into it. This is round 10, Eric.
So in this round 10, I liked, so we talked about yesterday on Luminosity how they let the CTs push. So you see right now Hen 1 is pushing A main. So the Renegades, they put a little pressure at B, and then they swing back towards the A main and clear out A main and force the CTs kind of fall back. As you see, Steel's going to try to smoke a delay. He doesn't get a kill. But what's so nice about this, he has to fall back, he has to respect it, and then go back to B after they boost up here. And the point for them, for Team Renegades to come back to B, we have JKS lurking in the sunroom. He sneaks on by, and I think it lets Lucas just comes right out right here. Boom. He's like, guys, come A. They push B. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am.
That's how it goes. Got Randy.
The swing strat, I like to call it. You know,
What's interesting about that is there's a swing set outside of the sunroom.
there you go.
It's kind of like it's telling you what to do. I think Volcano was onto something there.
He was. He's a man who's very smart, and he can see the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's another smart man. James, take us through round 14.
All right, so what is this round? Okay, so this round, all right, so I like this round. So it's kind of like a ragtag buy. You got 2 rifles. Lucas, basically, when he uses a deagle, it's like an op. But what I like about this is that they're taking a gamble here. You see a guy pushed up A main in lockers. What ends up happening, though, is Renegades does a really nice late mid take in the split onto A. And they are aware, they're like, oh yeah, he could have pushed locker in the time that we were going back and doing the boost. So Jay-Z and Nifty are creeping up and being very thorough here. Just a very clean round. So I hats off to Renegades here on a nice strat.
Yeah, I mean, that's Jay-Z was actually a guy who didn't have quite the numbers as JKS and Ozza, but he had some really good impactful rounds. He had a really nice 4K, I believe, one round. That was pretty helpful for them. So, yeah, they're getting some production from kind of everyone on the team at the moment, which is quite nice, but still doesn't amount to a win here. Next round that you guys wanted to highlight was number 19.
So I believe this is the one where Immortals does a nice little cheeky peek over here towards this A main.
Cheeky peek.
So you see Nifty here's at the quad spot opping, and then the Immortals will toss a nade and then do the hot peek. Gets Nifty to toss a shot, but then he gets caught with his pants down. And the other part that I really like is when you take over A, you want to take over Forklift. It's such a strong spot as a terrorist to have control. It makes it hard for CTs to retake and peek from the truck wall and whatnot. See Bolts is doing some one taps. Why not pre-firing spots? That's why Forklift is so important. I always, every time I play Pug or Cash, I always tell someone go Forklift as we take A. And it's usually pretty good if they don't overpeak.
And for all of you guys who are going to sign up on an ESA after this, like you promised, so that is the best way of killing the 13 RWS quad opper right there.
Just sitting there.
Perfect. Well, yes, we'll see how much. I'm sure people are going to get frustrated in those ESA bugs with that forklift spot now that you guys have brought it to so much attention. Round 22, James.
So this one, Launders, I'm going to have to throw you into the bus here, and it's because I respect you, right? So earlier on, I think, when the score was 5-5, you're like, oh yeah, Shroud spot's a great spot to watch middle from, and I was sitting over there like, not sure if he actually meant that or if, right? So I think that shows why it's not a good spot to watch middle from. It's not really Ustilo's fault. I think it's the setup, right? They have no mid control. They have no idea whether a guy's on highway. He walks all the way up. And also on top of it, they have nobody else at A with him. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to hold A and middle from on top of Shroud.
Overestimating the strength.
That's just not even close. Like, that's not a decision you should be making. So I don't really know what they're thinking there. Maybe miscommunication.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, maybe just rotating someone out at the last moment. A little unfortunate for them. After such a good cobble as well, where they had to grind things out and they couldn't do it here. Any final thoughts on what we said? This was the first time we've seen Renegades in the mainstream coming into the season. Obviously, we've said a couple times last season they qualified but had to drop out due to the major qualifiers over in Asia. I mean, is this a team that we're still expect to be fighting for a spot at the end?
I think so. They showed a lot of potential that they could hang with a team like Immortals. I think once Jay-Z Watkins plays more with the team, gets more comfortable, because he looked kind of uncomfortable, like kind of hesitant here and there. He didn't have as much of an impact as he was over in the Swedish scene.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're a new guy who comes into a lineup that's been together for a long time. If your IGL in that lineup that you're coming into is not like the best IGL, he kind of gives you like a wishy-washy explanation of how you might fit into a strat, and that might be what made it hard for him. It's right, because you don't want to be the new guy coming into the team and getting picked first, right? So it's like you have to like strike this balance between being aggressive and like you kind of don't really know what your place is.
Take some time to really understand exactly how you can do it. Yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be a long season that they're going to be able to develop that new player. Either way, if you guys want to one day be competing against the Australians, against Renegades, against Immortals, do it by going through the Mountain Dew League. Qualify. It's the direct pipeline for the ESL Pro League. Compete your way up, rise the ranks, and join us in Pro League one season in the future. We're going to go to a quick break. When we get back, it's going to be that exciting matchup, the marquee matchup, Team Liquid taking on CLG. Stay tuned.